I posted this picture with the caption temporary views on February 8th. 4 days later, I was made redundant. This is CapnTrippz, and 2024 has been crazy so far. Let's talk about it. What up? What up? It's your boy CapnTrippz, and before we get into that, I want to congratulate you for making it this far through 2024. That's no small feat. There's so much going on these days. I commend anyone still standing. Never mind if everything seems like a daze. As you can tell from the intro, the first half of my years had some moments, both good and bad. I'm hoping to showcase here how I've been able to manage with my community of loved ones holding me down. I'll show you a little bit of what I've been up to and keeping me level during these times. Keep in mind, if you're liking what you're seeing, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me. This is a growing channel, and we love to make sure you don't miss a thing, whether it be some of my gaming clips, streams, travel tidbits, or even these vlogs. So let's start at the beginning. January. In early January, I got an opportunity to join a hiking group, which was organized by my yoga instructor. Shout out to Breathe with Kay. She kind of took us on this trail. It was nice to get out there in the winter wind and release some emotions and tensions coming into the new year. Then Stream Atlanta hosted an event in Alpharetta up in my neighborhood where I got to hang out with some of my favorite local creators at Top Golf. Shout out to the Eric V, Zadie, Thick Sparkle Butt, the President Noir, and Bordy McBoard. We were all out there at Top Golf giving it our own. And what's not pictured here is me struggling. Now, while I enjoy Andre's flute album, I don't enjoy the rollout of it. I was sold to go sit in a theater to go listen to the album and pay money to go do that, only to find out like the next day he's doing a tour. He's gonna be here for Jazz Fest. It's just too much to me. To me. Loving this. We've got some creators here sharing some poetry, some original work. In February, I got an opportunity to collaborate with Blurs Unite on an open mic poetry event where several creators came and showcased their talents, and they did the damn thing. And we had enough time to joke around with each other.
I can go first. I got
Yeah.
something I could do real quick.
Okay, Thick.
Yeah,
All
go
right.
go ahead.
Yeah,
You can
go
take it.
ahead.
You
All
can
right,
take it.
bet.
Go
I'm
ahead.
gonna give Thick the flow. Thick ass vagina lean again. Okay. I'm not gonna ask no questions. First of all, you had to be thick ass vagina Lena in the first place to be thick ass vagina Lena again. As y'all see, we have now switched into I think I'm equipped to go get Jill Scott now. In all, I'm glad to help create a space where creators can showcase their talents and support each other.
50 squats and I almost fell down the stairs the next morning. All right.
This man on the way out redeemed oblique crunches. Literally rolling my credits.
I just want to make sure everybody's the best that they could ever be. Much love to everybody who came through. Be Nice, Leela Bobina, Danktastic, Thick Sparkle Butt, Zadie Love, Joker Games. And thank you to everybody who watched. This was something new that I wanted to do on Twitch and create a space to be in, and it went pretty well. We got to run that back. That brings us right back to this picture. I took it just on a random Thursday. We were all there. I was kind of feeling melancholy as I made do about my job, not knowing what was going to happen within a couple days' time. So, all right, got a call with my manager and an HR person on a Monday morning. What could this be about? So on one hand, I'm trying to be like, maybe I'm tripping. Maybe it's not what I think it is. And on the other hand, it's like, dog, it's for sure what you think it is, but you need to divorce yourself from the thought of like this being tied to anything that you specifically did. When it comes down to like layoffs, I try to kind of see it from the business perspective, but you can't when you're impacted from it. You definitely see the human perspective from it. So, get on the call. Manager says, "Hey," and then reads a prepared statement where she, tells me, uh, my services are no longer needed. And it's like, they are though, but y'all are trying to figure out a way to do it cheaper. And so, like, again, going back to the business aspect of it, it's about money. I was hired during COVID. I was hired at a time where they were giving people their numbers, whatever your number was. I can't be mad about anything other than not feeling like a person you worked with for 2 years just reads a statement and then logs off and leaves you to HR. I wasn't okay with that. And there's a couple other people who I expected to hear from since I left that I haven't. But I'm not going to worry about that because the people that I have heard from, super duper grateful for, the relationships that I made there. And it's a thing that a lot of people are dealing with these days. I gave myself that week to be sad, and then got back to it, with the jobs, got the resume refreshed, had a couple interviews, put in some apps, but we're just at the beginning of this process. Again, a lot of people are in the job market right now. A lot of people. And so I just got to work my process the best way I can. And if you guys are in the market for jobs, what are you guys doing to not only keep yourselves motivated during that search, but how do you pair that with just your sense of self as an adult, as you? I'm Trippz. Who are you? Let me know in the chat. Appreciate you. I wasn't going to let myself sit at home and be sad over what was essentially a business decision. I don't want this to reflect upon like my career that I've created and I've molded throughout the years. So in order to shake that off, I literally went to shake that off. Went back out to Controllerize, which is on Monday nights. It gave me a sense of freedom just to be able to kind of just be out there rocking and jamming with the crowd and still have my wherewithal to have my own space inside my headphones and everything else that was going on that night. So shout out to the Controllerize gang. I gave myself space to art, not only there at Controllerize that night, but also in kind of what I attended. I went to Signifest over at the Gathering Spot, which was an opportunity to see these awesome filmmakers do their thing, man. I did indulge just a little bit, things I like and food and just be able to kind of just do my thing and maintain out here. I kept a plate with something in it. Ramen spot, some nice sake I really did appreciate. And I got to meet people. This is Lola. She's part of my community. Loved to meet her. And then just did things I like, movies, films, and then hung out with the homies. Yeah, your boy went country for a Beyonce Cowboy Carter listening party. Shout out to the homies who hosted this party, and I was able to cut up and cut a rug, do things how I do things, and get a little bit more prepared for DreamCon, which is coming up pretty soon here, actually. Thinking back, it was easy as hell for me to lock in at the gym because that's something I had a little bit of control over, right? I can go into the gym, I can put my effort in, I can lift this weight around, and it won't be an issue. And for a while, right after everything happened, that was like my primary mode of stress relief, just trying to get in there and throw some weight around until it wasn't anymore. At the beginning of March, I end up like doing something weird in the gym, and my sciatica was like, no. And if you're not familiar with sciatica, it's a sciatic nerve that goes from your lower back through your like butt all the way down the back of your leg to like your knee. It has nerves that extend all the way down to your toes. So at very worst, your whole shit is inoperable. And grateful that that wasn't the case for me. Um, what nagged at me for the most was like from the knee down, just felt like dead weight for a while. So there were days where I'm on the floor because it's more comfortable for my hips. Because also everything that you do in the chain affects everything else. So is it the back? Is it the hips? Is it the knee? Is it the ankle? It's all of the above, and it's sticking out from your back. What's good, y'all? Reporting live from my hometown. Here today for my late grandmother's birthday. We are doing a balloon release at her home that I shan't show nobody because I know how weird people be on the internet. But I'm here. I got my shirt. I actually did really good on her birthday. I held it down on her birthday for the balloon release and lunch. It was Mother's Day that got me, boy. Whew. Going home to an effect didn't really even feel right without my grandmother being there. But you got to just take opportunities like her birthday to let her know how appreciative I am of her and everything she did for us. So we released these balloons with messages for her. I know it's not good for the environment. Sorry, y'all. Hey, whatever. But it's something my family wanted to commemorate my grandmother's first birthday without us. And something that I appreciate us doing. And then afterwards, we went out to eat and, did the whole hibachi thing with the family, like we always do. So, good time spent together. I signed up for this creator summit that they had in Lindbergh Station a little while back. That was an awesome opportunity for me to connect with other creators. Even though I don't like networking, I got out and had a couple of different conversations. You see some of the topics that they had discussed. They had some creators come out and share their experiences. Then they had local curators of culture come out and, basically just plant a flag about Atlanta being a place that people can grow and connect. The soccer in the streets installations around the city, that was the brainchild of one of the people who came and spoke to us just about what our impact on the community around us could be. And then, of course, there was a little bit of swag. You had some sponsors come through and help us out. Then we had a weird situation in which somebody just ran and jumped on stage, grabbed a microphone, and hoped to go viral in a moment. And let's just say it made it awkward for everybody. I'm a plant dad. So, of course, I've got to repot my plants, though I don't do that often. I got my first plant, I want to say, shortly after I graduated from grad school. Uh, it was a money tree. I really enjoyed that first plant, and I didn't stop there. I ended up uh, getting a few more. As required, when you grow things, you got to kind of repot them because at times and the plant outgrow their environment. 8 plants that we're looking to resoil, repot. It's been a little while. The way that I got everything set up is, I have a kiddie pool right here, and my plants right here. So we're just gonna be in the kiddie pool and the sunlight, man. Sunlight and love. If anyone ever asked me, yo, what you be doing? Why your plants be growing? At times, do I sing to them? Yeah, we be here jamming. But like it's a labor of love, and I think when it comes to growing anything, It takes intention. It takes lightheartedness, and you have to have good energy in yourself, because if you radiating bad energy, ain't nothing gonna grow, man. That's just. Oh, let's do this one. Snake plant, shout it. I know we use the term plant dad very loosely, and things don't mean as much as they used to back in the day. Don't want to pack it in too tight, but I want to make sure this thing's set up right. But I really feel as though working with my plants has provided me a whole lot of patience that I may not have had in the past.
Secure, but not, what you call that? But not like trapped, encased.
Like, I have to be a little bit more curious, a little bit more inquisitive, and have to humble myself to go ask questions about things, because I really do care for my plants. And I think that comes across in the fact that they grow, they're flourishing in my house. It's almost like a mini jungle that I've got going on right now. And I don't know, I never really thought about pets. I never really thought about, being responsible for things until I had plants.
And this is the finished result here from repotting, resoiling all of the plants. I'm actually going to leave them outside because I want them to kind of get some of that environment. I may need to go in and water, but my one aloe plant has turned into like one big one and two medium sized, and as well as the one I got over here for the homies 80. I owe her that one. So once again, it's your boy CapnTrippz, man. Thank y'all so much for coming through. Just like plants, sometimes we need better environments to grow. So make sure that you're repotting and resoiling yourself every once in a while. Check in with yourself, kind of see how you're doing, how you're feeling, what you need, and if where you are currently doesn't align with where you're trying to be or what you need in this life, man, give yourself some grace first off, and then let's make the changes to do what we need to do before they make them for you. Trust me. So with that being said, man, I'm gonna holler at y'all later. Let me go ahead, like I said, gonna leave the plant babies out here for the day. Plant Daddy B.
So let's talk music. There's been a couple of albums I want to talk about that came out the first half of this year. First off, Cowboy Carter. As you saw earlier, I went to a listening party for the release of this album. Expectations were high. And overall, I feel like Beyonce delivered on what is an introspection of country as a black woman. There's some really well-written songs on this, but as a follow-up to Renaissance, it didn't have the legs that the previous album did. I'm not sure if that's due to the songs not being played on some station formats or people just dealing with slower tempo songs. I thought it was dope that she featured black artists already in the genre, whether that's be Willie Jones, Brittany Spencer, Tanner Adele, and Shabuzi. Some standouts for me are Riverdance, Two Hands to Heaven, and Tyrant. That sequence is mwah. Another album that I want to highlight is Dark Times by Vince Staples. Vince is an artist that I respect for keeping it realer than most. Instead of being happy selling a glorified version of gang life, he's been derided for giving tourists a real life lesson of what goes along with gangbanging, losing friends, being paranoid about your fans, and survivor's remorse of being the one to make it. Dark Times fits all of that into a format that's both needed and short enough to fit the attention spans in 2024. Some standouts from that album are Etouffee, Radio, and Lil Homies. Timeless by Kaytranada. Kaytranada just makes me want to dance. He had me out at Render ATL grooving on a hill under the moon last year. And Timeless may just be my favorite work of his yet. He brings the best out of his featured artists. There are standout guests all throughout this one, as always, featuring Don Tolliver, Lou Phelps, Tinashe, and of course Duran Bernard. Some standouts for me are Spit It Out, Weird, and Witchy. Why, Lord? It's been 8 years since their first album, Yes Lord, dropped. No Worries didn't want to get their next shit out. Of course, they'd taken a detour or two in between projects. But I was waiting for this one. The Lucy's they dropped over the last year or two had me cautiously optimistic. This album was to be an evolution of both artists getting all the way in their bags. Knowledge's production is so potent throughout, and they got Andy out here crooning through his divorce heartbreak. Why Law was well worth the wait, and I want to say my favorite album of the year so far. Some standouts for me are Keep Her, Never Remix, and Walk On By. Though, dare I say, there are no skips on this album. What came out this year that you've been listening to? You are looking at a sensory deprivation tank. In this tank is enough salt water to float a person of average height and build for a session. This lid comes down atop them, and essentially they're a person floating in the dark. And I was doing this on my birthday after drinking a magic milkshake. So I saw creation. I pulled myself back together from my atoms, and I created who I wanted to be for this upcoming year. And damn, I felt great. So good, man. I just sat outside for the rest of the day. You know, I enjoyed myself a great meal as I celebrated myself as I deserve to. We surviving out here, man. We're thriving. I can honestly say that we cut up for the birthday stream and the streamathon that we started for that. We ended up drinking pickle soda, jelly beans. It was a good time. We did a lot of different shit that day. Nigga, run! Y'all got 20 seconds, dog. Please read quickly. Erection? Oh. Hey, let's forget that happened, y'all. Okay. This nigga disappeared for 2 hours. It ended up out of nowhere. What the fuck? This motherfucker disappeared for 3 hours and pop up right now. I just wonder where the fuck these 4 extra people just come out of nowhere. We was playing the game. It was like 10 people in this bitch. Just 5 people out of nowhere like, huh? Let's not get it twisted. We went outside for the birthday too. Shout out to my crew, man. We hung out for Cinco de Mayo. We went to this tacos and tequila event, and I'll be honest, it was not very bomb. There were a lot of people there, but it was very poorly managed, man. But we smiled anyway. This was also the night that Not Like Us dropped, and that changed a lot. Pop right back out for Zaywop, the Sylvia Demo 10-year anniversary tour, and I ain't gotta tell you, man, it was lit. I just really gotta forewarn anybody who ever goes to a show with me. If I'm ever in the crowd and I'm a fan of somebody, I am gonna be yelling lyrics at the top of my lungs. So please be ready for me to say the wrong thing at times, for me to be obnoxiously loud. I'm not doing this in spite of you. I'm doing this because I'm in the moment, man. But it was a great show, man. Shout out to everybody that was in the building. Amazing time. And then, you know, they had to pop out too. So you may already be able to ascertain how I feel about it, but this thing is over, man. It's crazy when you have people going up at a completely different concert with this song. I left a happy customer, man, and I was satisfied. And then Juneteenth rolled around, and it seemed like we were at a wake or a funeral. That was a white man that said that. We watched the pop out with friends, and we're turning up all the way through the credits.
That's crazy. The crowd still saying A minor, dog.
And then in the spirit of actually popping out, I did so at a barbecue cook-off. This is something that I was not even familiar with at all, but we had a family friend who was a fan of some of the, I guess you would call them pitmasters, who were out here competing, like literally on a circuit competing, and they just had hella food out here. Your boy enjoyed it, and more than that, I also just enjoyed having the opportunity to, watch my mom and my sister have fun and enjoy themselves. That made it easier for me. We still here, man. Still standing, learning to be grateful, learning to slow down and rest, learning not to take myself so seriously, and getting ready for what's next, because there is more on the way. I can promise you that. The story doesn't end here. With last month being in observance of Men's Mental Health Awareness, I want to just encourage the fellas out there to find outlets for their emotions, especially the difficult ones. It doesn't have to be a therapist, but you shouldn't feel shame for seeking one out. I've been, and I found that it's offered me a chance to unpack some of my own unsavory behaviors and empowered me to define my life for itself, not what may be expected of you. So find support in your loved ones and friends. That's helped me dearly, along with figuring out a balance internally. Everyone should seek support when they need it. Don't be afraid to speak up for yourself. And with that, I'll be out here living, man. We'll talk about it again when I see you. All right. So if you're not, go ahead and subscribe below. Go ahead and follow me on Twitch. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Instagram. I'm CapnTrippz. I'll holla.